What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Double Coverage. Hope you're still living, loving, and breathing sport. I am Dom with a great man, Sauce, episode 171. What is happening, brother?
Not much, mate. I'm well, plugging along. Another week in sport. As you can see, I got the Arsenal top bomb, baby. 1-0. I'll take it over Man City. We'll talk about it a bit later. I'm pumped up about that.
I got my true team on right here, Real Madrid.
Yeah, well, I
I love
mean, your
Madrid.
boys, your true boys got a win, but you're rocking the Real top. Fans of sports, we are. You'll see us in a number of different tops of different sporting clubs across.
Yeah.
As you'll see, Doma had the Al Nassr last week. Ronaldo.
This does have Ronaldo on the back, by the way.
He's got the Ronaldo.
So this is the Chinese New Year one. It's got the dragon on it. This one.
Very nice.
It's actually a six strip. This one. So, yep, rocking Ronaldo again. I will probably have to go in depth on United this week because, yeah, I was impressed. That's all I'm saying. I just was not impressed at all. But we are going to go. We thought we were done with the AFL, but we're going to get straight back into the AFL source, and because it's trade period, and there's been some moves at the moment, which has been interesting. And I'm going to bring up, as we always do during this period, bring up the IG, run through some of them. Some of them I'm not happy about. Some of them Source is going to be super happy about. All right, here we go. Taylor Adams, not done yet, but apparently off to Sydney. Paddy Dow over here off of the Blues, apparently off to the Saints, apparently. Joel Hamling from Fremantle up here over to the Swans. That is a done deal. Zach Fisher to North. That's what we want. This is a great get. This has been one of the best ones so far. Done deal on Tom Doedee over to Brisbane. He's a ripper player, great defender, bolsters their back line massively. The Lions, who fell short, of course, as we know, to the Pies. There's a couple of pick swaps here. Jade Gresham reportedly is going to the Bombers. Source. That is not yet to be done. This is a done deal. This one here makes me physically ill when I watched him this morning put on the top. Chasing success from North of the team that haven't won a final in decades. I agree. Lockie Stoll, you're a gun. So, not happy about that one. The Goldie one, Source, I was so happy for him to leave to go to a team that was a contender to potentially win the flag. I don't think Essendon is that team. And plus, North and Essendon have a bit of a rivalry. I'm not happy about this. That's all I'm saying. Just not happy. Dersma from Port, apparently, he has nominated Essendon. He wants to go to Essendon. So everyone wants to go to Essendon. Gresham, Goldstein, Dersma. I heard Ollie Wines, Essendon are going to approach it, whether it goes ahead or it doesn't matter. Ollie Wines from Port Adelaide. They're keeping Dylan Shield. Lockie Schultz has requested a trade to Collingwood. That's a good get for the Pies. If they get Lockie Schultz, say goodbye to Ginnivan. He's gone. If they get Lockie Schultz. That's all I'm saying. Because this guy is 10 times the player of Jack Ginnivan, in my opinion. So, kicked 101 goals in 93 games or 94 games. It's pretty good return. A goal a game from a guy. You rate that. Is the other one done deal? Ben Mackay over to the Bombers. We always knew that one was going to happen. This one I'm pretty happy about, Source, because we got the number 3 pick as compensation for this one. So I'm
2-3.
We got 2-3. Apparently, West Coast. Harley Reid came out and said whoever drafts him, he's happy to go wherever to play. So West Coast said they'll take him at 1, unless North want to give pick 2 and 3. So yeah, we're in a bit of a pickle now. Pretty happy to. I bet you're all happy that we beat Gold Coast in the last round now, North Melbourne supporters. You're all jumping for joy still.
So, you could have had 1 and 3.
This was the problem. This was the thing that I was always
worried. You could have had 1 and 3.
Yep. and not have to give up anything for it. Your waltzes into your club, thanks for coming. This is what I said from the get-go. It was dumb. That's why I celebrated so hard when we beat West Coast. When West Coast beat the Dogs, mate. Because we didn't have to lift our finger for the rest of the season, but we decided to go out valiantly with courage in the last game of the season where you lost 16 straight and then you decide, we're going to win the last game of the season. Like, I know people go, that's a loser's mentality in as a supporter, but guess what? We lost the season up until that point anyway. So what's the big deal? Well, we lose one more game, we get the number 1 pick secured, you get Harley Reid, and then next year we try and start winning games. Like, you bottomed out already to that point. Anyway, Harms nominated a trade and it got done. So he's over to the Dogs. Premiership player for the D's has gone to the Dogs. And that's all we've got so far. Grundy potentially going to the Swan Sauce. This one's a good. I like these updates that they put out, to be honest, because it gives you a bit of an insight into what's happening. Hunter Clark set for a new deal. North draft decision. That's what we're talking about. The 2 and 3 power forward undergoes medical. That's Orazio. You'd be happy at Essendon that you got rid of that bloke. Before
he was always injured at Essendon as well. So
yeah. So there you go. That's a bit of an update. We'll keep you posted. Did you hear Stephen May's comments at the Melbourne Best and Fairest Source?
No.
He said we lost to Collingwood. We were better than Collingwood, and that if Collingwood didn't beat us, we would have won the flag. That's paraphrasing. But guess what? You didn't. You kicked miserably, and you lost.
Yeah, but you lost, Stephen.
Yeah, you lost. Correct.
You lost.
You lost. In straight sets, Stephen. In straight sets.
I guess you were better that week before when you should have won that game too. Hey?
Adam, we are well. We hope you are well. Archie says, what about the Bombers? Yeah. Saucy's flying high at the moment. They're getting absolutely everyone. And get Grundy to the Swans.
Sign them on. Bring them on. We're paying them under the table. We're doing a Melbourne Storm.
Yeah. You've already had enough controversy at your football club in the last decade, mate. I don't think you need any more. Let's put it that way. All right, Sauce, that's it on the AFL front. NBA front, bit of preseason stuff's been happening at the moment. We got to see Holmgren go up against Wemby today. 2 great players so far. Wemby, we've seen him play a lot of Euro ball and stuff, so he's established. We know that. When he starts coming up against the vets and stuff, we'll see how he fares. But Holmgren showed a lot.
Severely outbodied.
You reckon?
Yeah. Put him against Jokic. Watch Jokic absolutely bully him.
That's fair. I agree with you on that. Holmgren, we saw a bit from him, obviously, before he got injured last year. And, yeah, he was always a good player. He's just one of those rookies, as we know, Sauce. They get that injury curse in their first season. They miss out a whole year. It's happened to so many of the greats over time.
It has.
Hopefully,
patience is needed with
that's
these guys.
That is a great side in Oklahoma with him coming back in.
It is young, invigorating. You got my boy SGA leading the way. We know what a baller he is. Yep. Look
Giddy,
good.
Holmgren, it's looking pretty good. If you ask me. Nothing else to report on the NBA. We'll really get into it. We'll do a bit of a deep dive. We'll do a bit of a preseason preview in the lead up to opening night, which is still a few weeks away. Other news source, F1, Max Verstappen's world champion, and he won it by coming second in a sprint race.
Back to back.
Came second in a sprint race, source.
And won it.
But he did end up on race day winning the Qatar Grand Prix by 4 seconds to Aussie Oscar Piastri, who finished second. He won the sprint race. Piastri?
He had a good
won the sprint race, came second. And Lando, his teammate, in third. George Russell and Lewis Hamilton had a collision on the first turn.
Together in this part of the season. They're starting to put some good form together.
Yeah, they've been really good. Leclerc 5th, Alonso 6th, Ocon 7th, Bottas 8th, Zhou Guan Yu 9th, Perez 10. He's on the chopping block. Source DNF for Carlos Sainz and Lewis Hamilton because him and George Russell went into each other on the first turn. So, funnily enough, I don't know if you saw anything in terms of the conditions for this race because it was so hot.
Yeah, I heard a lot of drivers said it was very
Ocon
difficult.
said, I think 12 laps in or 16 laps in, he started throwing up in the car. Like, it was fucked. The conditions were cooked. It was so taxing on their body. I don't know if you go and saw Piastri post-race in the green room that they do before they go up onto the podium. He was just lying down on the ground, absolutely exhausted. Lifted up their visors when they were coming into the pit. George Russell on the straight to get when he had no one in front of him to get cool air was genuinely he took his hands off the wheel on the straight going 300 k's an hour and was driving the car with his forearms just to cool down his hands. Like that's how cooked the conditions were.
Wow,
it was that bad.
That's bad. That's horrendous, man. Surely they don't do a race at that time again. Like that is
it's hard. It's
surely.
in Qatar. It's always hot there. I don't know how you do that. Maybe they go with the World Cup route. You build an indoor track, mate. Air condition it. Climate controlled track.
They got the money.
They've got the money. Yeah, there's possibilities. Adam says, back on the NBA, says, your boys are in trouble. Doma, not even Emo Butler can save him. I completely agree. The FIA is going to have to do something to Red Bull to slow them down next year, or people are going to start tuning off. Venom says, how good is Ben Simmons? I don't know, have you seen his highlights of him warm-up shooting threes? He's been doing that for like 4 seasons. He shoots threes pre-game and then doesn't take one. So, anyway. No race next week. The next one is on the 23rd. We'll cover that on next week's show. We're flying through this source at the moment. EPL, straight into that. Let's get to the results from round 8. We had Arsenal defeating Man City 1-0.
Come on.
Great result. That's
result.
what you wanted.
Finally
mate.
got the job done. That's the type of game we need to win. We need to win those games against the big clubs at home, especially Man City.
No sucker, no worries.
Yeah, but we had Martinelli came on in the second half and livened up the party and made a nuisance of himself in the end, getting on the score sheet. I mean, bit of fortune, but you make your own luck in the sense when, we're putting on pressure onto City. City were probably, unlucky not to score in the first half. They had some good chances and they didn't capitalize. But in the end, we got the 1-0 victory and can't be more than, very happy with the result. Like,
You're missing one thing.
I think we haven't beaten them in a while. I think we keep
last
as close
8
as a draw.
Was the last 8 games?
Yeah,
or 9 ridiculous. Games or something. Yeah, you missed out on one key point from this game. Martinelli scored, but you forgot to mention deliberately the guy that assisted him. Do you know who assisted him?
Yeah, Havertz.
I'll show you who assisted him.
Yeah, I know Havertz.
Yeah, bring him up. We've got to bring.
But if Havertz was a world-class player, his first touch would have been in front of him, and he would have buried it in the net himself.
You've always got to, mate. This is the great man
ball,
up,
and he could have had a first touch and buried it.
This is the great man right here, mate. He's turned over a new leaf. He did it when it counts against Man City. Have a look at him. This is what you get from him most weeks. Be happy. Smile. Be happy. Yeah, good.
I'm happy with the result. I'll take it.
Brett, welcome. Welcome to the show. We have Brighton, Liverpool 2-2 draw. West Ham, Newcastle 2-2 draw. Wolves, Aston Villa 1-1 draw. Palace, Nottingham 0-0 draw. Chelsea defeated Burnley 4-1. Raheem Sterling put on a clinic in this game. Everton defeat Bournemouth 3-0. Fulham defeat Sheffield 3-1. Tottenham defeat Luton 1-0. And Manchester United put on an absolute clinic and won 2-1 against Brentford.
Clinic, he says. He came back from the death. 2 goals in injury time. 2 goals in Fergie time. Talk about Fergie. Was it 11 minutes added on or something, wasn't it?
9.
9 minutes.
So McTominay came on, had 4 touches. 2 of his touches were goals out of the 4 touches when he came on. It was just perfect timing. Like, cometh the moment, cometh the man. Like, good on him. And I'm proud McTominay did that. And not for anything, I've got to actually lose it here. This is where you get... mate, I don't know if you can see the steam coming off my head. McTominay wins this game and everyone gets around him. Rightly so. You got to get around him. He scored in the 93rd minute and then 3 minutes later or 2 minutes later, he scores in the 95th minute. Happy days. We close out the game. We win it. After the game, McTominay made this comment and Source, I almost... he goes, this is what Manchester United is all about. The boys have been rallying together since we watched the David Beckham documentary on Netflix because it showed the identity of Manchester United and what it means to play for the football club. Fucking listen here, mate. Maybe you should sit fucking old bald head prick Ten Hag down and maybe he should watch the fucking documentary and put the Glazers next to him and they should also watch the documentary about identity at Manchester United.
Have you watched the documentary, Dom?
I've watched the first episode. I'm waiting on my missus to watch. She was actually interested. Saw us on Bex. So I said, watch the first episode and then I'll watch the rest, mate. Canton is in there.
The whole thing with,
Yeah, but Spice Girls.
Spice Girls. Yeah,
all that gutsy.
Exactly,
gutsy rubbish.
Exactly.
Now, I'm watching it for Cantona and Gary Neville's in it and Paul Scholes and then Zidane eventually.
I seen it the other day when I was scrolling through. I don't know what it's on here. If it's on Netflix, I don't know. I don't bloody know. Right, what it was on. I think I seen. And I was like, oh, that looks interesting. So I'm actually keen to watch that one.
So anyway, the identity, apparently, we've got this identity. I'm going to get to the comment that Brett just put in a second because I want to find out what's going on there. We'll get straight back to AFL when I finish this thought. But apparently there's this identity source, and it's come now where we've been shithoused. The identity to kick out a club legend who helped build some of that identity, the guy that pushed players. I'm not making it about Ronaldo. It's about the whole fact of like he set people to a standard and then Ten Hag's trying to hold other people to a standard. What identity? What, ostracizing players like Jadon Sancho, not putting him back in the team to even train with the squad till he apologizes to him. He made a mistake. Sancho made a mistake. You called him out publicly, put blame on him. It was Ten Hag made a mistake also. Like, everyone's to blame, not just the coach, the owners, the players. You play for the badge. And anyway, you got away with the 3 points. You were fucking lucky. You were lucky. All right, I watched the whole game. We did dominate it, Source. We did. But we play this tentative football that is rubbish. Like, we get it onto the wings. Are we going to cross the ball? Nah. We just pass it back around the box, 18-yard box, get to the other side. Nah. Back around. There's just no... It's so timid. So timid. Casemiro's lost a step completely. Subbed off at halftime for Ericsson.
Casemiro isn't just about done. Could be.
Manchester United is just about done. So, no games next week, Source, for the EPL with the international break. We'll get to the rest of the games in a second. Brett has put in, here's a bit of news, ladies and gentlemen. This is a double coverage first. You heard it here, live and exclusive. Missed the AFL segment, but had a very good chat with Harley Reid, who's prospected to be the number 1 pick at the Combine over the weekend. Brett, can you give us some insight on your discussion with the great man Harley Reid? Would be keen to know what you had a chat about. Brett does work. Brett has mentioned this before on this show. He said, ignore the media. He doesn't want to go to Perth. All right, there you go, ladies and gents. Brett has mentioned it on this show before, so it's no surprise, but he is a scout for North Melbourne Football Club. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to take his word. Ended our interview with Make It Happen. Double coverage exclusive. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. They ended the interview with Make It Happen. I might have to cut this and post this, Brett. That means pick 2 and 3 are going to West Coast. That's what I read out of that. Pick 2 and 3 are going to West Coast.
Oh, it will have to be something. It could be pick 2 and maybe, did you have any other picks in the first round? Do you have future picks in the first round? Could be something like that. Could be also a player, something.
Send a link on Monday, said Brett. Anyway, just putting it out there. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. There you go. Bit of breaking news. 2 plus 3 for 1 won't happen. West Coast want to split and get multiple selections. There you go. We're getting it all here, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I feel like maybe they trade away pick 2 or 3, or something, and then you get some other picks, and then trade the other pick plus a later pick for pick 1. They'll do something and they'll package it up like that. That's what I'm feeling. They may have to use one of those picks, or they may have to trade away one of those picks to get some other picks, and then combine those together. So with either 2 or 3 to then get the deal done.
Yeah, it's always promising that he wants to come and play at North if he wants to make it happen. Close to the money, Sauce. You should be a recruiter, Sauce. You might get a gig at North.
Hey, don't worry, man. I've got an eye for talent. Don't you worry about that.
There you go. There's some breaking news on the show. Harley Reid does not want to go to Perth. He wants to make it happen. He wants to be at North Melbourne in 2024. Right there.
Look, if I was West Coast, I wouldn't even, after what the scenario I've seen with Jason Horne-Francis play out, why would you even want to have the potential to put your club through that? Why? Like West Coast, if they actually draft a good player, they aren't going to be that bad as people think they're going to be next season.
No, then West Coast is a football club, Source. We've said on the show multiple times. West Coast is the football club. They can turn around a list very, very quickly.
And you got to understand
very quickly.
That is one true home ground advantage when they get that stadium going. They have a real home ground advantage, and that can, play a big factor in.
We know they've been poo. They were in it. They played and won a grand final 5 years ago. This is, as we know with AFL, it's cyclical. List change, age, injury. A lot of things happen. They've turned over a massive, massive chunk of their list. Nat Nui gone, Shuey gone, Hearn gone. Kennedy left last year. They've got a lot of young kids in there. They were affected by COVID twice, massively. They had to go through top-up players. They had to get guys from the Waffle to come play for their football club. They're literally down the bottom of the barrel. They've had injury to players. Like Chester didn't play all of last year because he was injured. So they had to go get top-up guys. They couldn't even count on having their draft picks come in and play. Liam Ryan was injured for a majority of the season this year. They lost Willie Rioli. Like, there's a lot of things. Like, Elliot Yo's been injured consistently, Source, for the last 3 years. Dom Sheed hasn't been producing to the level he was producing. Shuey injured. He's retired now. Gaff has been... Gaff's Gaff. He's a good player, but hasn't seen the heights of where he was, There's a lot of factors. Oscar Allen looks great. That's one positive. Oscar Allen looks really good. Barras looks good.
Trying to give some hope to the West Coast supporters here. Yeah, I feel like they won't be as bad as they were. They had a lot. They had a lot of things go wrong for them last season. A lot. So I think it just can be only things can get
They
better.
finished bottom,
situation,
Matt.
for sure.
Yeah, Matt, they did finish bottom because North beat Gold Coast in the last round. They finished bottom.
They won't be
Gut
as
feel
bad
is they
next week
want
after the bye.
McKercher, says Brett. This is the whole thing now, and this is the reason why, as I mentioned 10 minutes ago, why I didn't want us to win that last game. Because West Coast, like you're saying, Source, now can say, well, all right, we'll split the picks. We want to take more of your picks on top of like pick 2, for example. Like, we want Harley Reid, but they actually don't want Harley Reid. But because they can dangle that carrot there, they say, if you don't trade for pick 1, maybe another team will come and offer something for pick 1. We'll give them pick 1. They'll get Harley Reid. You'll miss out on him completely. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. They got so much leverage now. That's the part that fucking
Just a
annoys
shit
me.
situation. Just a shit situation.
That's the part that annoys me. Like,
would have been better to just lose the game.
yeah. Matt Tabe says, still a back-to-back team. They will be back. 100% they will, West Coast. 100%. Anyway, back to the football. Thanks for that insight as well, Brett. We really do appreciate that. Very nice. Bit of breaking news, double coverage exclusive. So if you do listen to this pod, don't say we don't break news time to time on here. So, all right.
Back to the round ball game, mate.
Let's get back to the round ball Source, and then let's get to some of the Champions League results from last week. We had Celtic Lazio 2-1 win to Lazio. Crvena Zvezda 2-2 with Young Boys. Dortmund and AC Milan 0-0. Did you see Giroud put on the glove, Source, and keep?
Yes, I did see that.
Unbelievable. He made the crucial save to stop them from losing this game. Olivier Giroud. Unbelievable. Porto lose to Barcelona 1-0. Newcastle put an absolute spanking on PSG, defeating them 4-1. Man City defeat Leipzig 3-1. Antwerp lose to Shakhtar 3-2. Atletico Madrid defeat Feyenoord 3-2. Bayern defeat Copenhagen 2-1. Inter defeat Benfica 1-0. Lens defeat Arsenal 2-1. This was the game Saka got injured in. Manchester United lose to Galatasaray 3-2. First time Galatasaray's ever won in England, so that's great. Add that to the list of achievements for Erik ten Hag. Napoli lose to Madrid 3-2. PSV and Sevilla play out a 2-2 draw. Sociedad defeat Salzburg 2-0. And Braga defeat Union Berlin 3-2.
I think you got your games mixed up, Norman.
What do you mean?
It wasn't that game.
Which game?
It wasn't the Dortmund game. He didn't keep in the Dortmund game.
Oh, so it was the Serie A game.
It was a Serie A game. It was AC Milan versus Genoa. So anyone who hasn't seen that, it's pretty funny. But Giroud goes in goal at the end, and AC Milan hangs on for the 1-0 win over Genoa in the Serie A. But in the Champions League,
it was 0-0. He wasn't in goals.
He wasn't in goals.
So there you go. There were the games that played out last week. We'll get to Champions League after the break when it returns. And, of course, our favorite league on planet Earth, Source, is the Saudi League. And there were some interesting results, actually, over the weekend. We had Al Hazem losing to Damak 4-1. Al Tawun, who was on top provisionally after defeating Al Tay 3-0. Al Shabab and Al Riyadh 2-2 draw. Al Fateh defeat Al Ettifaq 2-1. Al Nassr play out a 2-2 draw with Abba. Al Ali defeat Al Ittihad 1-0. Al Halal defeat Al Aqdoud 3-0 to then retake top spot in the Saudi League. Al Wada draw with Al Fayha 1-1. And Al Khalij and Al Raid 0-0 draw. Yeah, no games as well with the international break there. Standings in, I think it was Al Halal back on top. Neymar didn't play again. I don't know what's going on there with that bloke. He's just enjoying
Neymar. I'm telling you, Neymar is literally gone here and gone. I'm just gonna milk this. If I've got a little niggly injury, I'm not gonna
100%.
play. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just going to play when I want, this and that. And that was the
Completely
attitude
agree.
I've watched him a few games. He looks disinterested. He looks disinterested in, in the way he's playing. Anyway, Doma, but before we move on, I've got something that's come across the socials, right?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. What do
This
you got
story
for me?
popped up,
What do you
right?
got for me?
The great man, the greatest player to ever walk the planet, Lionel Messi.
Oh,
By some people, right?
What is this shit?
Lionel Messi could be the subject of interest from Saudi Arabia this winter. Now, if people aren't familiar, the MLS league, I think, is about 20 games in or something. It's probably done in another 12 games or 15 games, and it's playoffs. Inter Miami's not making playoffs. They are so shit. Even with Messi there, they're not going to make
They
playoffs.
lost this week.
So crap. Yeah, they actually lost, and he came on at halftime. They ended up losing. So, and when it's 0-0 when he came on, and they still lost. So their team is pretty average. They do need to add more talent. So in the meantime, when the break there from the MLS, the Saudi Pro League is still going. There is reports that there could be a loan deal with Inter Miami and a team in the Saudi Pro League to have Messi go play in the Saudi Pro League. What are your thoughts on that, Dom?
Well, he did turn down a 1.5 billion euro offer from, I think it was, 1.5 billion from Al Hilal in June, which it was reported to be almost 2 billion Australian dollars at the time. So, and that was over 2 years. So he was going to get 500, whatever it was going to be, 500 million or 750 million euros a year. The equivalent of Benzema's contract over 3 years in 1 year, effectively, is what he was getting offered. So he's turned that down. Will it happen? Probably not. I think there's a conflict of interest, in my opinion, with obviously the MLS and everything that he's contracted with them to do, like broadcasting. He's got Adidas this and Apple TV that, and MLS sales. And I don't think MLS want him to go play there to help promote that brand of football even more, because they're a direct competitor, the Saudi League. And let's be honest, they got more teams, 15 a conference. There's 30 teams there. Saudi League's got 18. And in all honesty, if Ronaldo does his recruitment drive again for next year, where they've got even more money to spend and even more European, African players come across, Asian players come across to Saudi, to that league, it's going to be better again. And it's a matter of time before it actually does get into the top 10. I know we joke about it, but they've got the infrastructure and the coin, if they do it properly, to get it to that level where it could eventually be a top 10, top 5 league, and with all the talent. So,
well, if they get the right coaching and that over there, because if they look at it like a proper business, you got to understand, like, even a football club in a business mind, if you look at it like, when you there's an essence of recruiting and finding youngsters and building them up, and then building them up to a point where then you can sell them on for a profit. You put all this time and effort, and like, it sounds bad that in that sense, you're selling people for profit, but that's the world of football.
It's a business.
It's a business, and if they look at it like that and they get good coaching and stuff over there in Saudi Arabia, and they get actually younger players seeing there's a good infrastructure over there and they can set up academies, you'll have, think about what better place is there to send a young man where you can't drink alcohol, right? You can't do anything there. It's very strict, to grow up, to learn football, to become a professional athlete. Think about it, Dom. Think about it.
World-class facilities.
World-class facilities. You've got money, right? And your son plays here in Australia, and you can send your son to Saudi Arabia where there's no alcohol.
I'll do it in a heartbeat.
There's no alcohol. There's no
not even
influence
just
of
not
drugs.
even not even because of that.
All that bad stuff.
Not even that's a factor there. No distractions, but that's not the number one reason. He's playing with world-class talent in that competition. And the thing that they've set up is they've obviously they put feelers out for Division 2 teams, which I'm pretty sure they're filled or almost filled, and they're looking at Division 3 teams too. So they're having a 3 division structure over there. Once they get those teams sorted and they play out 1 season, 2 seasons, the next thing a source is saying is academies. The top teams are going to start getting academies. They're going to start recruiting the best coaches in the world to come over there. Jose Mourinho this week came out and said that he's not. They offered him 150 million to go coach over there. He turned it down to stay at Roma. He said it's not out of the question that he will eventually end up there and coach there. The caliber of Jose Mourinho, who, as a young player, doesn't want to go to that team if there's an academy established and potentially get the influence of him and a system through him, as we've seen with the young Aussie bloke. I've gone blank on his name. That Mourinho gave the opportunity to start for Roma. You know what I mean?
Volpato?
Yeah, Christian Volpato. That's it. Yeah, but you know what I mean? He gives opportunities to young kids, and he could, for example, go to Al Nassr or Al Hilal, and just imagine you getting to come on and play with Neymar or Ronaldo, you know, or Benzi at Al Ittihad. It's get coached by Gerrard. Yeah, Gerrard may not be renowned great coach, but you know he's got experience as one of the all-time greats to play the game.
Champions
So
League winner.
there's opportunity abroad. Back to the Messi thing, though. It's a conflict of interest, personally. I don't think it's going to happen because they're direct competitors. But
Fair point.
if it was to happen, Source, if it was to happen,
What would
and
you
it was
like to
for a
see? Who would you like to
4-month
see him
stint.
go to?
if it was a 4-month stint, you know how my feelings on Messi. I would put my differences aside with the great man. I know that we hate each other. Messi and I, we don't see eye to eye. It's as if we know each other personally.
Messi doesn't even know who the hell you are, brother.
He knows. Don't worry. He knows I'm his biggest hater. He knows. Go to Al Nassr for 4 months. Lionel, listen. Go to Al Nassr for 4 months. Give every football fan what they want. Play with Ronaldo.
No way.
Messi, I'm telling you right now, ladies and gentlemen, double coverage family, everyone listen to this. You know me. You know how much I love this guy. This guy. This guy. It's on the back of my top. Messi, I will buy an Al Nassr top with your name on the back if you go and play there for 4 months.
What?
I will have a Messi jersey in my closet if he goes to Al Nassr.
Plays with Ronaldo.
You know what?
I
I'll go one.
happen.
I'll go one better. I'll go one better source. I'll buy a Messi jersey, no matter what team he goes to in the Saudi League. I'll buy his top.
It would be good if he went to the Saudi League. It'd be interesting. I'd like to see it happen. I will. I would love to see it happen. But your point about the contract stipulations, I feel like you are probably definitely on the money in that situation. But nonetheless, Dama, you know, it came across the socials. I had to bring it up, and
it's a report from Goal.
It's a report from Goal, so you know it could be somewhat okay or not. I don't know how credible Goal can be sometimes, but yeah, interesting.
James, welcome to the show. He says, "Good evening, gents. How's Al Titifak going?" They lost to Al Fateh. If you want to really know, James, if you're genuinely interested, they lost to Al Fateh. So there you go. All right, Source. NFL games this week. We had Raiders defeating Packers 17-13. San Francisco smacked the Cowboys 42-10. Jets defeat the Broncos 31-21. Kansas City defeat the Vikings 27-20. Bengals defeat Cardinals 34-20. Philly defeat the Rams 23-14. Falcons defeat Texans 21-19. The Detroit Lions, who have been playing absolutely amazing football, defeat the Panthers 42-24. The Colts defeat the Titans 23-16. Dolphins defeat the Giants 31-16. New Orleans shut out Mac Jones 34-0 against New England.
Hang on, Doma. Don't you damn move on from that.
I'm not moving. I know what you're doing. I can read your mind right now.
Don't you move on from that point right there. Hang on. I'm trying to find it. It is in here. I know it is in here.
I know it's in there.
There he
Bring
is.
him up.
There he is. Johnny Stone, the hero of the hobby. This guy here sold that Mac Jones card right there. 1 of 1 for 100,000 $1,000 and made the best sale of all time. Thank you, Johnny Stone, for being a hero in this hobby.
And the
thank
person
you for
that and the
showing
person
why
that bought it, Source, you are.
a lemon. Hang on, repeat that scoreline. What was the scoreline from the weekend with
the New Orleans Saints shut out Mac Jones 34-0.
100K that card? $100,000? Are you serious? What are you doing, bro?
Johnny Sins, Stones, not Johnny Sins, Johnny Stones. You, sir. He was the hobbyist. He was the hobby. I don't know. The hobby personality of 2022 was Johnny Stones. He clocked it. He has clocked the hobby because he realized that there's some lemon that genuinely thought this guy was going to be good. So let's get back to it. Steelers defeat the Ravens 17-20. Jacksonville defeat the Bills 25-20. And the Bears defeat the Commanders 40-20. Games coming up this week. Hello, Magda, as well. Thanks for joining. James says Purdy is the real deal. Completely agree. Who is the hobby watchdog now? Says Magda. Oh, it's got to be us in the round table every month. We're the watchdog.
Hang on. We'll hang on. Hold that thought. We'll bring it up in hobby talk. We'll have a bit of a discussion. Who is the hobby watchdog at this point?
Here we go. Games this week. Chiefs, Broncos, Titans, Ravens, Falcons, Commanders, Bears, Vikings, Bengals, Seahawks, Browns, 49ers, Texans, Saints, Jags, Colts, Dolphins, Panthers, Raiders, Patriots, Rams, Cardinals, Jets, Eagles, Buccaneers, Lions, Bills, Giants, Chargers, Cowboys. And a shout out before we finish this one. Go and listen to Patrick Bet David podcast with Tom Brady. Unbelievable podcast. I'm not sure if you've caught this one yet, Source.
Haven't Tom. Definitely on the listen.
Unreal.
Spotify listen list.
Just to show the drive that guy had, and it shows why he actually is the GOAT. He remembers Source. He remembers everything. Score lines, everything from high school to college to his professional career. The way he goes through it, and he's just like, he remembers everything because his drive was to be the best. Unbelievable. Just go listen to that podcast. As we love Patrick Bet David and the way he conducts interviews. He is fantastic at it. So go have a listen and you'll be, I don't know, pleasantly surprised. And, you know, you'll walk away from it going, it was completely worth listening to that. I spent an hour and 30 minutes, I think it is, or around 20 minutes, and it was really well worth it. Especially
and if you listen on, 2x speed like me, then it's half the time, which is great.
And it's a podcast, Source. Honest to God, you can go back multiple times and get a lot of worth out of it. A lot of worth listening to it multiple times because Brady actually kind of like gives advice to people, you know, that are out there about motivation and drive. It's fantastic. Do yourself a favor, ladies and gents. All right, Sauce, I'm going to throw it to you for the UFC.
Yep. Doma, as we all know, ladies and gentlemen, the UFC segment is sponsored by Roll Clean Soap. Head to www.rollclean.com.au to check out their range. I believe they've still got a sale on, so if they don't, make sure you use 20% code double coverage at checkout for 20% off your first order. Roll Clean, the number one in MMA, BJJ, martial arts, hygiene. Whether you want to stay smelling at the gym or not, don't do it because Roll Clean, they've got your back and they'll keep you smelling fresh. Destroy your competition on and off the mats. Roll Clean soap, they keep you clean and fresh. Beard oil, balm, boost balms, the works. Get down to www.rollclean.com.au. Check them out. All right, Donna, UFC Fight Night. Dawson versus Green over the weekend. If you caught it, it was a free-to-air event. A run through the main card, and then we will move on. Alexander Hernandez defeated by Billy Alego in the featherweight division with a decision. Drew Dober defeated Ricky Glenn in the lightweight division. That was a KO. In the welterweight division, you had Jacqueline Buckley defeating Alex Morono with a decision that went the distance. And then in the middleweight division, you had Joe Pfeiffer defeating Abdul Razik Al Hassan with a submission. And in the main event, Bobby Green with a KO in the first round, 33 seconds in. Massive underdog, Dom. When I mean massive underdog, a plus 380 underdog, meaning if you were to put down 100 lackers on that, meaning $100, you would have got back $380. So that was a very, very, actually, 380 profit, I believe. So I believe he would have been paying $3.80 or something along that lines. Or I think that's how it works, the American system, $3.80 in the decimal odds. I think that would have been. Big outsider comes in, gets the win over Grant Dawson. Bang, with a big knockout in the first round. It was a good knockout too. So if you haven't seen it, make sure you go check it out. All right. And I believe there is another event this weekend. Let me just double check because I've had to change things up in which website I use. It is this weekend at the Apex, kicking off from 10 a.m. The main card, Yusuf versus Barbosa, is the main card. But we'll do a big preview of the next card and a bit more detail as UFC 294 is just around the corner, so 2 weeks away on the 22nd of October. It is going to be a massive card, and I'll just give you a little quick teaser that you've got. Oh my god, this is just juicy. All right, let me just tell you, you've got Paulo Costa, just the two main fights. Paulo Costa against Khamzat Chimaev and Islam Makhachev against Charles Oliveira. Massive card. That's 2 weeks away. So we'll do a big preview for that. But
it's meant to be Brazil versus Russia, that card. The top 3 fights are Brazil versus Russia.
There's also Magmed Akhnelev against Johnny Walker in the light heavyweight. There's another Russia. There's also Isram Azarikov, who's another Russian, who's against Nazarman Imanov. So there's a few. There's a lot of Russian fighters in there on this card.
Matty Tabe says, word on the street, Pooh Bear is going pro and he's now the Honey Bear sauce. That's massive.
We know that. We know he's changed his name to Honey Bear. Right, and we still got to get him on the show. We still got to get him on the show. And look, I actually said that to people. I said, mate, he's obviously out there. He's doing very well on the local circuit, and he's going and training and doing some training with Jimmy Crute, who we know is in the UFC already. So getting that experience, sparring with guys of that caliber who are in the organization. So look out for that space. For him to potentially, you never know, could get to the point where we see him on what's the show? The Ultimate Fighter?
Ultimate Fighter.
They do the
3-belt holder now, says Matty. Yep, he's doing great things. Well done to the Honey Bear, Damian Voller. Great work. Moving on, Source, Hobby Talk. It is brought to you by Mint Collectables. There it is, 20% off at checkout. Use the code double coverage. You can head over to www.mintcollectables.com.au or at mintcollectables_ on Instagram or at mintcollectables on Facebook. They're saucy. He's got another legacy box. If he didn't see the box that was provided to him by Mint Collectables, he did get a loaded box and he hit a redemption. So well done.
Go check out the video on our YouTube if you haven't seen it.
Go check it out. It was fantastic. All right, Saucy. Straight off the bat, we're going to do a bit of a product. We're going to look into a product. We haven't done this for a while because we want to look at flawless basketball. Here it is. Whoop. It wants to zoom in. Here we go. This is coming out on the 6th of December. So in a couple months' time. So here it is. They got all the stuff in here. 8 autos and 1 relic per box. Panini noted that all mem cards feature game-worn swatches, including the first game-worn options for the 22-23 rookie class. So Panini noted that all memorabilia cards feature game-worn swatches source, all right? So they shouldn't be coming from Dick's Sporting Goods. They should just be coming from game-worn, which is a scrimmage at practice. So that's what it is instead. While expected box break from Panini, gem cards are in each box. They're numbered to 20 copies or less. Here's a Magic Johnson, one of Saucy's favorite players of all time. Also, dual player versions such as Flawless Championships and Flawless Drafts. We've got Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett. We've got Amping Up with the Finals 101. Who gives a shit about these cards, if you ask me? They're absolutely rubbish. It's as good as a taco card in Topps Baseball. So
Taco Fractor.
Yeah. It's as good as the egg card.
What do you
that
win? A
got
year supply of tacos?
Yeah, some shit. Who gives a rat's
I remember
ass?
that. The egg card. The egg
Yeah,
card.
no, it got shilled. That was one of the biggest shills of all time.
That was one of the biggest Le Mans moments of people in the hobby thinking they were doing, in the guise of thinking they were doing something for charity. That was pretty funny.
Yeah. Charity. Here it is, charity.
Yeah, shill up the card so you can sell
Absolute
the 100
idiots,
you
those
bought for
guys.
50 cents each.
Yeah. Look for standout rookies in excellence, signatures, and flawless finishes. And Jabari Smith, flawless patch auto, signature, prime materials, and star swatch signatures. One of one editions, Logo Man autos, and laundry tags. There's Luca the Don Logo Man. Triple autos of Banchero, Jalen Williams, and Benedict Mathurin. So triple Logo Man is back. 6th of December, 10 cards per back, 1 pack per box, 2 boxes in a case.
Did they put any sort of price point there?
No, but last year's products, there's one listed here, 2-box case sealed, $25,500 US. That is an absolute waste of fucking money, if you ask me. So ridiculous. Got 2 words for you. Chet and Wemby. Yep. It was awesome to watch today. Maytabe said, I did charity once. I did the 40-hour famine and lasted 12 hours. Vinny wants to know, what did you do with the Richmond Jewel Jigsaws?
Sitting on the desk behind me, mate. Still there.
You getting rid of it?
Hasn't moved. I don't know. How long, and when can I redeem it now? Has it been signed?
Why do you want to redeem it, mate? Get rid of it.
Why? What's the difference if you redeem it?
Just get rid of it. Just sell it. Let someone else redeem it, mate. Just sell it.
I don't want it. But yeah, I was thinking of putting it
up. You want a Toby Nankervis and Dylan Grimes dual auto card? Just sell the redemption.
I was thinking of putting it up a 99-cent auction because another one went for about 700. So I'd feel like if I got 700 or 800, I'd feel okay. But I might just put it up on Facebook first and just see if I can do without the fees. And if there's a Richmond collector that really, really wants it, well, I'm definitely going to push for upwards of 800, I think, because considering people in the AFL space want to take ones that are 10 and less cost more, and mine's number 6, apparently, according to collectors in the AFL space, even though I think anything other than jumper number is completely stupid. My opinion. I'll try to push for 800. Yeah, that's the one. That was the one I was watching, Vinny. So, yeah, I think that's a pretty good sale, man.
Multiverse said he'd give you $50 posted.
$50 posted, sold. I'll send you the empty legacy box.
with a wrapper from one of the packs. All right, so this was some big news that came in the hobby just yesterday. I'm pretty sure it was. Here he is, our mate, your mate, Jay's mate, Dan's mate, everyone's mate. Opening a 14,000 square foot shop in Atlanta in early 2024. It is the sports card investor, Jeff Wilson, with the shop that will be known as Cards HQ. He says here it is a state-of-the-art 14,000 square foot shop that will raise the bar for what the collector experience can be. What we're creating will fundamentally change the hobby. You're going to be able to visit Cards HQ every day, no matter where you are in the world, as we will offer a first of its kind live virtual shopping experience. You're able to walk the shop live 24 hours a day, 7 days a week from anywhere. It's how we'll become the world's local card shop source. So you can go in there physically. You'll be able to go in there virtually with a virtual attendant. You can walk around the store. You can purchase from anywhere in the world. It will open early 2024 in Atlanta near the Braves Stadium. And thanks to the architectural design from so-and-so that he stated there. Saucy is giving us a bit of a look onto the inside. This is his statement saying we're announcing the shop. There's a bit of a look here. As you can see, there's some cabinets here.
Like you'll be able to virtual shop in there, so you can go virtually on a computer or go virtually with a VR headset or something like that.
Yep. That's right.
Interesting.
There's obviously the casing all across here. This is the entry here, reception. Hopefully someone gives you customer service when you actually enter the store. That'll be nice. The product up on the wall here, I'm assuming. More cabinets over here. What else we got? Yep, here's another angle. Here it looks like there's a bit of tray tables at the back there. There's couches here, so you'll be able to sit down and enjoy the experience. There's all TVs here with sport going on. Then right next to that is a breakers table source right here. As you can see, the TVs at the top would be connected to, obviously, there'll be cameras facing down. And here, where these people are, looks like there might be a bit of a stage, potentially. I don't know. Or maybe they're standing and watching. I'm not 100% sure. But they'll be able to watch breaks live. Here's a different angle from that image. And then the last one, source, looks like it's a comps area where you can go in just to sell your products. Your cards, sorry.
Private conversation booth.
Yeah, private conversation booth. Funnily enough, Cards HQ have put out already, obviously they want to grow the inventory to put stuff in cabinets. So they've got actual dedicated time. So they've got the Nashville Card Show section and Chantilly on the in booth 818, Dallas Card Show, Palm Beach Card Show, Philly Card Show, and Flip Huntsville. They're going to be buying cards if they like stuff high end, low end. I'm assuming they'll have bargain bins. They'll have everything. $1 bins, $5 bins, $10 bins, 20, 30, 40, slab bins, singles bins, you name it, any bin. You'll be even able to buy sports card investing for dummies books. If you haven't already purchased one already off of Amazon, you'll be able to do whatever you want there.
Word on the street, he has Lonzo Ball at the opening.
Yep, and as James says, he does have a dedicated Desmond Ritter buying booth. There it is.
And Will Greer.
Adam, welcome. Honestly, I know we're taking the absolute piss about some of those things, but this is actually awesome to see.
It is good. It is actually
massive store, and you just go.
We definitely know he'll be getting products once Fanatics gets the license because he's been sucking up their ass for ages.
Yeah, but Source, you just come across here, right? You just come across here, and you go straight to the comments. Here's our mate Uncle Ken. Comment number 2. Congrats. Looks incredible. Fanatics Live. Right there. That just means congrats. Looks incredible. Here's the license to sell in 2024. Fanatics Live. There you go. There's Ken. He's happy. Who else we got in here? Stacking gems. Oh, one of the elitists in the hobby. Roth Cards. There he is. Says it's go time. Who else we got in here? Great edition from the NCC show, Dr. Collectables, whatnot. They'll be all over it. Otia, about time you announced this news. Mojo, wow. They're loving it.
I think it will be good. It's good. It's good if you ask me.
It is great. No, it is. It really is.
It's good. And at least he's using some of that PPP money for good of the hobby and opening up a hobby shop. So, and at least buying other people's cards and providing liquidity for the hobby, which is great.
Oh, fuck, Adam. Jeez, I'm not reading that one out. Oh, wow.
Jesus, that was
I'm not
yeah.
bringing
Look,
that up.
let's hope that doesn't happen. Let's hope that
Global,
doesn't happen.
welcome.
Like,
Vinny
we
says,
shouldn't laugh about that. I
Vinny
really
says,
don't.
where was the Kurt's card care spot and training center?
I like that one.
Well, if
I like
OT
that
is
one.
going to come down, he can teach trimming. We'll get Kurt's card care, show you how to clean the
Might as well
cards.
get Evan Mathis down there too.
Evan Mathis. Someone has to give Burbank competition. Well, they're in different states. It's actually good. You got Burbank. You can have this big one as well. It's going to be near the Brave Stadium, as it mentioned in the description, which is good. Right near, obviously, a lot of foot traffic. So good on him. Let's see how it pans out. Hopefully, it pans out well for him. But let's be honest, and you'll be able to go shop there from all around the world, which is also fantastic as well. Multiverse says it's a shit name, and I completely agree. It is a shit name. Cards HQ. Yeah, it's a rubbish name. But anyway, good luck to him. Hopefully, he comes on the show on the round table. We'll invite him. We'll see what he does. I don't think he'll come on. What's your thoughts? You reckon he's coming on? No, he's not coming on.
Slim chance. Slim chance.
Slim chance. I'd give it 1%. You can't always say 0%. There's always a 1%.
I didn't say.
Slim.
I didn't say
Yeah.
no chance.
Yeah, it's 1%. All right, Source. I'm going to throw it to you here. We've got two last things. All right, you got a PWCC shilling. First and foremost.
Yes, correct.
How happy are you about this?
Look, I'm not surprised. And anyone who's not across the issue, make sure you go check out Dan the Card Man's video on this shady sports card bidding on PWCC. Check out that video. It goes into it and just goes through pretty much pointing out the fact that PWCC is getting shield bidding on their platform. They have a system on their platform where they put cards which are previously sold on there, like a history of sold. When a card instantly finishes on an auction, it goes into that section where it's been previously sold, but it's got payment pending. Once it gets paid, then that comes up as officially a paid transaction. The issue is if the card doesn't get paid and then gets relisted, when it gets relisted, they then remove the payment pending, which didn't get processed through, and they then relist the card. And what happens is those payment pending actually still come up on 130 point, still come up on Cardladder's, search history system, because that's very much similar to 130
Market
point,
movers as well.
Market movers does still come up on that stuff as well. Those items, obviously, even though they haven't been paid, unwilling buyers might think, oh, it has been, or they're not across the point that you need to go double check with PWCC. So, and check that it's actually in their paid history, and it's not a pending payment. So it's pretty crazy that there's still shield bidding going on their platform. It's very easy to create a account with them. You just need a mobile phone number and bang, you get an account. It's funny how this has all come about. They were accused of getting thrown off eBay for doing shady behavior, and I mean, we all knew it was sort of happening. It's funny that they threw them off in essence when we still got other guys on there who are still doing shady behavior. But let's not talk about that eBay situation. But the old, the old issue has risen again with PWCC and shield bidding, and it's never going to stop, and it won't stop because the guys at PWCC and some of the employees are a bit shady. And I'm not surprised that this keeps going on and they're allowing people to keep shield bidding their cards. I mean, if a card keeps not selling, keeps getting shield, right? There has to be some sort of measure that you take in that point, especially, this card's like a $10,000 card. It keeps getting shield. You have to do something at that point to stop it from getting shield. Like, there has to be some mode of way to stop it. I mean, does that, and it's funny because if that person really wanted to sell their card and it wasn't them actually shilling their own cards, which is, I feel like, which is probably what it is, they would just take it out of there, send it to Golden, where the process is better, in essence, where stuff actually gets paid a lot more often, and try his luck there. But I seem as though that the owner of the card, or maybe we don't know whether it's the owner of the card or whether it's someone trying to protect the price of that card, but I feel like it's probably the owner of the card, is still building up that card, and there's nothing being done about it, which I just find it bizarre that this
It's
can
fine,
still
though.
happen. I don't find it. I just find it bizarre, Dom, that we are still in this point, 3 years on from starting this damn podcast, talking about this same damn issue with this same damn company, the same company that has blocked us on Instagram, right? Because we've called them out for their complete, utter uselessness and bullshit in the past, right? So they happen to block us because they can't face the facts that they're complete crooks. It's still around 3 years on.
No comment. I've got no comment for it, man. It's embarrassing, if you ask me. Absolutely embarrassing. It's a joke. And I just love the fact that all these accounts like that have blocked us. It's saying something, mate. Like, just ignore us. Blocking just means that it's getting to you. Like, that's all it's telling me, to be honest. But anyway, it is what it is with them. And it doesn't help when you got influencers, like hobby influencers, coming out and saying that shill bidding's okay as well. So I don't know how that, like, they have influence over so many people in this hobby, and it's just really promoting it. Like, oh, let's all shill bid. Oh, it's the right thing to do. My card's not selling. I'll
Well, you
shill
got
it.
people like Shayway Flogs who had, who's quite a bit of
Shillway.
following. He's got his Shillway Flogs. He's got his, following. He's got like a business in the hobby. He's trying to. He's on. He's done a live with Lefko, and he's like trying to. He's had the media pass at some of these big events in the States and looked up. I wouldn't look up to him as someone in the hobby personally, but you never know.
He fucking collects. He wastes his money on Messi. I wouldn't fucking look up to him either.
I'm not saying, but I'm saying there could be other collectors at a lower level that follow him on Instagram and look up, oh, how cool's the things that he's doing in this space. I want to do those things in this
100%.
space. And then he ends up being a shiller of his own cards on eBay and caught red-handed and admitted to it, like a lemon.
And other guys like
don't worry, mate. I'm telling you now.
It's okay.
Give it 3 to 6 months. I understand he's lost sponsors, this and that. 3 to 6 months, if he still wants to stay in this space, he'll be rejuvenated. He'll be back in the space. The space is very forgiving. What he did, is bad, but it's not that bad. The thing is, if he's done it there and he's been caught, how long has he been doing it for that he hasn't been caught over the last 3 years?
That's exactly right. Especially at the peak of the market.
That's all I say.
Maybe at the peak of the market, that's what he did to get the funds to buy the Messi Superfractor. He shilled that many cards and fleeced that many people. So that's the other thing people need to remember. People in the hobby with their short-term memory will be like, oh, he did it once, he admitted to doing it, and that's it. When he could have been doing it for 3 years. So it's the whole thing with like everything that's happening at the moment now. Like Saucy and I, we spoke about it briefly today. We're having a chat, and we're like, how funny is it in this space at the moment? How all the attention was on all these big corporations and stuff, like Golden and PWCC now, because Dan's brought more light back onto it and stuff. But it was PWCC, Golden, PSA, all the grading companies, it's all been quiet. None of their reps have been really doing much because Juanito's story came out, and people just believe that because this story from Card Porn for scamming people, they're genuinely running in their mind going, I'm telling you, this is the way they're thinking, mind you. And you might say, oh, that's an opinion. Opinion or fact, I don't know how hard it is to differentiate off this statement I'm about to make, but people in the hobby will genuinely believe that 90% of the scams happening all came from card porn. That's how dumb they are. They'll genuinely believe that 90% of it all came from him. So they go, oh, now that we know who the person is, no more scamming happens. And then 2 weeks later, Shilway Flogs comes out and he's been shilling stuff and scamming people. And it's like, yeah, but it's just a one-off thing. He did it once. He admitted to it. It's all fine. Like, I just find it so amusing.
Hello, Doma. You've muted yourself. He's muted himself, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, look, he makes a good point, and
I'm back.
You mentioned about obviously like the whole situation, mate. It's just it's the head has arisen from the waters again, man, and poked its head out. This nasty thing that that happens in the hobby. I mean, and it's shit to come on here and have to like talk about this stuff. But if we don't talk about it, if we don't mention it, I mean, we've flamed PWCC. I couldn't tell you how many times we've talked shit about them on this. I mean, I've bought cards off them there, but I haven't bought cards off there for
are you talking shit or are you talking fact? It's a bit
we're talking fact. We're not talking shit. We're talking shit on them in terms of like,
I'm glad
giving them talking shit about them, but it's fact. What's happening is fact, and it shouldn't be happening. They got kicked off eBay for a reason of whatever eBay decided. That's great, but they should have built their own platform and not allowed this stuff to carry on from what was happening on eBay if they wanted to truly make a change. But they don't care, ladies and gentlemen. They're still getting their cut. People are still using their platform, and you know what? They don't give a shit, and they'll keep getting away with it. And stuff will keep getting shilled, and stuff will keep getting relisted, and it will keep going over and over and over again.
And we like, it's not a bad thing in all honesty. In terms of like for us, we talk about this stuff. I don't care that we've got a smaller following and half the people don't know we exist, and like even that we broke the stories. I'm actually glad though that there's someone like Dan that actually has the following, and people will listen to him and actually be like, their eyes open up to it. And go, oh, actually, you know what? Maybe I should look at a different way of collecting cards instead of going through that stream. There has to be another way. It could be making friends in the hobby and bringing the hobby back to what it was and communicating. And they know a friend of a friend of a friend, and then they find the card and you help each other find the cards. So they're going to the corporation that's been known for shilling and scamming and like pumping card prices for their benefit.
Like this is why, ladies and gentlemen, when you look up comps and you see it like from eBay, whatever, if you can go into it and you can check out the bidding history and you can do a bit more research, like you got to do your due diligence. Like you can't just see it on 130 point and say that's the price. Like you just can't. And even on $100 card or $150 card, or you might even think like a $50 card, it might not be that much, or even a $30 card. I'm telling you, people will try on anything to inflate the price through dodgy manners, through shield bidding. It happens all the time. So just be wary, ladies and gentlemen. Just be wary. It's just sad that it's still happening, and PWC are absolute Le Mans for allowing to keep happening on their platform. All right, Don, enough on PWCC.
Last but not least, the title of this show is "Can Fanatics Really 10x the Hobby?" You name the show, and I'm going to throw it to you because I don't know where you're going with this, to be honest. But Source, can they 10x the hobby? That's my question to you.
Well, look, this is the big conundrum that's plaguing this hobby at the moment. You've got the battle of rights. They want the rights to everything, Fanatics, and me as a person who's just if you've seen in the history of time of anything, when one person or one organization has control over one sector and owns everything, that in no way benefits the true people that were in that space. It's never in the past worked out well for those people. You know, and I just don't see it working out well. If they are able to monopolize everything, they may be able to bring in more people. But for the people that have been here for 20 years collecting cards, like the Oracle Doma, like the Oracle, like other people like Dan, who's been collecting cards for 10 plus years, like you, who's been collecting cards for 20 plus years. Me, I've been collecting cards. I've collected Pokemon cards, Yu-Gi-Oh cards when I was younger, but been in this hobby now for 4 or 5 years. And I've spoken to you and had lengthy conversations with people who have been collectors before and asked them what it was like in this era, here and here and here. And, you know, how was it like going up? I mean, it's nothing like it once was. And it's really sad that the average Joe who's on a $70,000 wage a year or a $60,000 wage a year or a $50,000 wage a year can't go and say, it's my birthday this weekend. I'm going to splurge. I'm going to buy myself an immaculate case for $3,000, $3.5K, and they're going to get a case of immaculate basketball, mate. It's really, really sad that you're never going to get that point again, right? And it's just shit. It's shit if you ask me, because it's not better for collectors, and them 10xing it, even though they may be able to, is that really going to be better for the consumer, for you,
Yeah, but
for your hard-earned dollars? I don't understand. I think they can 10x it, and why? Because if you've seen the events that they did over the weekend, where they over the weekend, or the past weekend, where they had random athletes popping into hobby shops that were throwing card nights and trade shows, and you had Tom Brady trading cards. I think this is in New Jersey. I think the rapper came through, Kevin Hart came through,
Travis Scott there.
Michael Rubin there. So can they bring in more people into this hobby? I think they have the guys of marketing to do it. You know, they've got the marketing team, they've got the marketing budget, and that's what it's going to take to bring in more people. Now, what does that lead to, Doma? It leads to, I feel, an even more watered down product, an even more expensive product that's watered down, right? Now, I'm talking, they might lower the standard of prices, and they might set a recommended retail price, and who knows how they go about their allocation and you know, in what manner they do that. But they might set a recommended retail price, or a retail price that hobby shops can't sell over. Right, and they're going to sell their boxes at a maximum of that price, and then they sell their boxes at a certain price to the hobby shops, and they can't really lower their prices. I feel like that could be a play. Who knows? But it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. What are your thoughts, Tom? What are your thoughts? Like, first of all, do you think that they can actually 10x the hobby? And then, if 10xing the hobby, what is the outlook of that look like? And then will that actually be beneficial for true collectors like yourself, or the Oracle, or people who have been in this hobby for 10 plus years and not just been here for a minute for a quick flip, not the rough cards or, you know, the quick flippers like that. You know, cracking BGS to PSA to fleece some bloke for a more expensive piece of plastic around the card than the other piece of plastic. Like, that's not the true better. That's not the true. What's the word I'm looking for? Like, that's
betterment
not the
of the hobby.
Well, not for the betterment of the hobby, but also it's not the blood and bones of the hobby, mate. It's not what the hobby was brought up on. You know, like that's, you know, people. It was brought up on people collecting cards, having cool collections. You know, obviously you're going to trade cards, you're going to sell cards as well, but it wasn't like this. And it was also brought up on, like, you being able to afford boxes, man. Like, you being able to buy a box of Spectra basketball,
$210 for Prism.
$210 for Prism. You like do
Hobby.
people understand
Prism
that?
hobby. Let me say that. Hobby. Prism hobby. 210. Not retail. Prism hobby.
And used to have on-card autos on it. All on-card autos, right?
On-card autos.
Now they get away with sticker autos, and they sell the box for $1,000, $1,100.
Yeah.
You know, and you're getting shitter product. Like, you know,
But honestly, my
more
thoughts,
money's
like,
being withdrawn, and it's getting worse.
Card experiences, Fanatics can 10x the overprinting only. They will collapse the resale of everything. All right, so Venom says, one man said Fanatics will be amazing.
That man may be a lemon. Who knows?
Yeah, it could be a lemon. I have no idea who he's talking about. But these are a few things that we know for sure. All right? I'm going to write them down so we don't forget it for future reference.
Boxes sold
from Fanatics need to be broken through Fanatics Live. Through allocation, sorry. Whoever's got a license has to break
On
through
Fanatics
Fanatics
Live.
Live. All right. So that's number one. All right. So we know that. In direct correlation with boxes sold to licensees, have to go on Fanatics Live. Fanatics get to choose who they want to get a license to sell their product in their store. That's number two. So I'm going to write all these down. So license to be given to stores based on Fanatics decision. Not everyone gets it. Just put it out there. All right, they're going to be the distributor. Distribute through them. They sell on Fanatics Live. Number three, Fanatics make a cut of all sales on Fanatics Live. They get a commission. That's number three.
Correct.
All right.
Double dipping there. Very
Double
nice.
dipping.
Very smart.
Double dip. Number four. This is the most interesting one. They have said, and it has been quoted by Michael Rubin, that box prices aren't exactly going to fall to the expectation of what the collectors think they will fall to. You still could be getting these boxes at $600 a pop. Right? They're selling off their website. So it's going to be sold off their website, or you need to go through a licensed LCS to purchase these products. If you want to break through that LCS, it needs to be on Fanatics Live. I don't understand the full stipulation based off of if, for example, we own an LCS, we've got a license, we sell it to you in a brick and mortar store physically. Of that sale that we make in store, do they still make a cut off that sale? Or is that it? Based off your allocation, the only way they make a cut is off breaking. Do they say, we're giving you 12 cases, of the 12 cases, you need to break 10 of them on Fanatics Live so they get a commission? I don't know. I don't have the inner sanctum knowledge of that. We don't have an LCS, and we're not going to get a license.
Yeah, hobby shop out there, if anyone knows how that's going to work, or if we find out information when we speak to our
certain
sources
people.
And certain people, we will let you know, ladies and gentlemen. But that will be an interesting one to know how that works.
So all these pop-up breakers that aren't a shop, for example, pop-up breakers being Lil Pullman. That's a good example. Lil Pullman. Some of the people that we know, like West Oz Cards, Jono, Cosmic. You know, some of these pop-up breakers that have been around now for a while. Some came up through the peak, but you know they're legit because they're still doing it. They haven't disappeared like a whole bunch of other people. They just disappeared off the face of the earth. Jono, I get notifications. He's doing a break now. He's doing Immaculate, I'm pretty sure, as we speak. They're not going to get a license because they're not a store. And I'm guaranteeing you right now, maybe Lil Pullman will because his mates, Vinicorn knows Ruben. They're mates. He probably gets a license. But the other two aren't going to get a license. Now, they said that they can only break their product on Fanatics Live. My thing is, if you buy a product, why can't you just break it? If you buy it physically from a store, I don't know. Like, wait, I can't break it personally for people and sell it. They have no control over that. I have no idea.
If you buy it from an LCS and walk out of the store, there's nothing stopping them from
why can't I break it
on your Instagram account and then breaking it on Instagram Live? Like
the biggest concern, though, the biggest concern out of everything is these pop-up breakers that have been around now for a while and they're making a living out of it as a hobby. Some as a hobby, some as an actual living. But people that have set up stores, right? Because we know they're the distributors. So hobby stores now, like big ones like Burbank that might get an allocation and distribute to smaller little shops, they won't be allowed to do that anymore. You need to have a license, a Fanatics license to get any distribution. And I'm telling you, if these people went to go allocate some of their allocation to other people, Fanatics will say that's a breach of a license and you could face losing the license.
License termination.
License termination. As we know about the guy that went and spoke out against the baseball card, the 101 that Anton Griezmann pulled in that loaded box. He said something, he lost his sponsorship.
Lost his
John
sponsorship from
something. Yeah.
Yeah. From Fanatics.
You know what I mean? This is what I'm saying. So my biggest concern is the existence of LCSs. We've got so many in Australia. What happens to them if they don't all get a license? They're going to be running off TCG. They're not going to survive. What, they're going to run off singles?
And you need to get new. You need to be able to get new product in, and it'll be disappointing.
That's what I'm so scared about for these people, man. Like, because this is their business, their livelihood, and like you're saying, this one person who's is going to monopolize the hobby, and after 2 years sell his stock and ride off into the sunset, as Jay mentioned on the round table last week, which I completely agree. When they hit the IPO and the stocks go through the roof, he's got his stocks for pennies on the dollar. So when it goes to the roof, guess who's selling out, baby? So my concern is he's going to make the money. It's going to be left into whoever takes over, and all these people that have a livelihood because they're not going to get a license could be cooked. They're all going to shut down. And then in doing that, it's going to be certain stores within certain countries that are going to monopolize the whole entire market of product for themselves. And this is also a concern because we've always said that everyone in this hobby should be working together in this space. So not for anything, it goes against absolutely everything that the hobby was actually like the foundation of the hobby. Working together, meeting new people, trying to find cards, collecting cards, set collecting, player collecting, buying boxes, ripping boxes. You know, I understand some people buy boxes, they sell it for an absorbent amount of prices, picks, like a spot, sorry. People pay it. But there's also fun in doing stuff like that as well. So, I don't know. The whole fabric of the hobby could be burnt to a crisp because certain countries are going to have certain stores. They're going to monopolize the whole hobby.
It's going to be an interesting watch over the next 2 years and 3 years how this all plays out. And yeah, I don't know. I want to have hope. But something inside of me, I've just got to eat this feeling that it ain't going to get better. It ain't gonna. I mean, it's not gonna stop me from enjoying cards. I mean, I've sort of found my lane and like found a way to enjoy cards. Whether I'm, I don't break anymore. I don't really, as you've seen. I think that's the first box I've ripped in quite a while. I will rip a pack here and there when I buy them, and I usually just buy a couple packs. But yeah, no way am I spending ridiculous amounts of money, what, $3,000 to rip an impeccable box or something like that.
Global says I haven't sent any cards to any grading companies in 3 years. Matty Tape says, like the little chip packets of chips, they say no resale on the boxes. I don't know how you police that, though. That's the only thing. Does it make it better for the collector that want to buy boxes? Will the boxes be cheaper without 2-3 middlemen? So you're going to be able to either buy off Fanatics.com or buy from a shop that has the license. It's the only way you can get the product on release. I don't know how it's going to work with secondary market, if they're going to have tabs on that. I have no idea.
They can't keep tabs on that sort of shit.
I don't know. Yeah, but this is all speculation.
Look, there's also the speculation that they're going to give guides to these hobby shops that they give this allocation to, saying you can't sell it for more than this price. And it might be for a period of time. So it could be you can't sell it for a period of time, more this. But then at the same time, does that if that hobby shop, say the period of time is 4 or 5 months, what stops them from holding back a few cases or quite a few cases, and then just bumping that price up later down the track?
Marty says, I think there will be breaker's license for those who don't have a shop that will get allocation. Don't know who or how it's going to work. That's like, we mentioned that before. Like Little Pool Man will get a license, for example. I can't even think of any of the other ones, to be honest. He's literally probably the best one out of all of them. He hasn't got a shop. So he's got a breaking space. So he'd get one. But like we said, we got friends in this hobby that do it, and they do a great job at breaking. They're not going to get a license. Like, I worry eventually, because we actually have a lot of friends that do this stuff. Like, we got like mates at Neon, for example. Yeah, are they like, is Fanatics going to turn around when they eventually get a soccer license and give them a license to break? Because they're breaking product on release day.
Yeah. Look,
This is their business, man. Like, this is what I'm saying. Livelihoods are going to get crushed and destroyed because Fanatics are going to pick and choose who they want to give a license to. And yeah, there'll be places in this country, that are going to get a license because, let's be honest, you need to have spots all around the world that are going to have a Fanatics license to sell the product.
If you want to 10x the hobby. Yeah,
if you want to 10x the hobby, correct. But what it means for all the other LCSs that have popped up in this time, like, yeah, that's my concern because a lot of, not just because we know them and they're friends of ours or they're acquaintances and stuff like that, they're human beings in the end of the day, and like that's their livelihood. Like they got to provide for their family. So that's my concern. So, and it's going to take away from, like we said, the fabric of the hobby and what it's like, the foundation, which was being in it together. But anyway, we just changed.
The Golden Arches is still hiring, mate. The Golden Arches is still hiring. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, well, hopefully, I was going to say they'll employ Ruben when it all goes to shit, but he's going to sell it at the peak, mate, and he's going to be owning all the Golden Arches who have that much money. So, anyway.
Yeah, look, let's not speak on it more, but yeah, it is a point to think about. And I want, if you're in this space, if you love this space as much as we do, you need to think about this thing, man, because look, the only way to fight back against this sort of stuff is if you don't agree with it, don't buy their product. Yeah, just let. If you really want the cards, eventually, you're always going to come out ahead of buying singles. And I've always said that. So just let someone else break it. If you want the card and eventually pick it up somewhere later down the track. If you don't get it, don't be upset. Don't worry about it. There'll be another card. There'll be something else, another shiny toy that catches your attention that you enjoy that card to buy next. It's not a big deal.
Magda said, I just buy AFL products now that Panini has pushed collectors out with their box prices. That's fair enough. A lot of value in and enjoyment out of select products at the moment. Matty Tape says, my mate has a small brick and mortar shop, still can't get Panini stuff, bottom of the food chain, and it'll be hard in the future with Fanatics. That's the point right there.
Yeah, and there is small shops out there that still don't have a license with Panini to get product, and they're just buying product on the secondary market themselves through other hobby shops and other means that they have through other retailers. So yeah, it is tough.
Global says you can't 10x the hobby with too many rules and regs. Matty Tabe says 100% just don't buy single product. And Magda's followed up with just buy single cards you like, which we've been saying for a long time now on this show, and a lot of people that listen to this show as well. But the general consensus from the two of us on this show, to anyone that's listening, and the reason you listen to us is obviously you want to have a laugh and brighten up your thing, but we have been a bit, doom and gloom the last few weeks. But as Saucy said, you do need to think about it, because I think a lot of people think, everything's going to be okay. But I genuinely don't. I actually have concern. I'm concerned about all the other things. I'm personally a critical thinker type person, and I have a business background. So it's like I look into it and I go, well, if someone's monopolizing something, they're in it to make money. So with any business, I'm just concerned. I'm really concerned. So also I'm with you.
My concern is not enough. Obviously, they're going to get a lot of. They're going to suck enough people in. That's my concern. They're going to suck enough people in. And yeah, it's worrying. It's worrying.
last but not least, we'll end it on this one. We've got to leave. We've got to finish on a high note because Magda said we need grooming sauce at the Hobby Hangout. That's what Magda said.
Yeah, we'll have to see. We don't know.
Speaking of the
out.
Hobby Hangout. How do they? What are they? Andrew, we love you. Why are you still putting us on the panel? No, we appreciate it. We're glad to be up there again, talking. It'll be awesome. There you go. Maddie said Lincoln can hold the camera. His son. He'll hold the camera source. While you roam
There we go.
around.
Put him to work. Put him to work. I like it. I like it.
So there you go. We're up there with Darcy from Palms Off, Omar from 1 of 1, Maddie Payne back to host. Here's the stalls. I did notice down here, Matt's card shop. He's got his own stall this time around, Source, which is great.
Very nice.
McLaren cards, Cherry, double coverage. We've even got a table Source. This is interesting. Arena 1 of 1, Melbourne Cartel, EJ. Soccer Cards Australia.
We look forward to seeing that gravy collection. Please get it out, Anthony. I know, Anthony. I know you've added some pieces to the collection.
And Rod, I'm gonna come up to you again for the third Hobby Hangout in a row, and I'm gonna give you $10 for that Mason Greenwood Color Blast. It is a coaster. Stop holding on to it. I want it as a coaster. I want to beat up the card like he did. I want to beat for what he did. As simple as that. $5. Saucy doesn't like that comment. $5.
10. It's worth $1. $1.50.
Yeah, it's worth $1. I'll give you 1,000%. I'll give you 10. He's a lemon. That's why I want to beat up the card, mate. As simple as that. He's a dickhead. Yeah,
I think he's playing for Getafe now these days, or he's playing in the Spanish league.
He is. Hopefully no one watches him. Magda says, will Juanito be at the Hobby Hangout? He is in the Philippines. I cannot stress that enough. How many times do we need to say he's in the Philippines? The problem is...
Spoke to him last week, mate.
I'm not saying... I'm not going to say it. Anyway. Big Three Collectables, Hobby Australia Card and Collectables. Mosebill's Cards is going to be there.
Mailman Breaks. The works.
Go have a look, mate. Everyone's going to be there. Tinky's back. Hopefully they've got some Ronaldos they've stocked up for me.
SJ2K is there, which I think they're down from Queensland. I think they are. So
Neon.
That's pretty cool.
Anthony will be there. There you go. We're looking forward to it.
Store holders bring the singles. Yeah, like a lot of store holders, it's cool to sell wax. Like, don't get me wrong, it's cool to sell some wax, but get out the singles. I feel like sometimes I go to some of these shows and you see these store holders and they've got their nice website and that, and they're just selling product, sealed product. They haven't. I mean, where are the store owners that are having a punt on a case and cracking open a case and selling the singles?
Yes, he will be. Yes, he will be, Jay, because you're going to be there. And as of last week, you are now known as Grift Wilson. Maddie says, gold packs are flying. Bring low and high-end stuff for everybody. 19th of November.
Lock it in, ladies and gentlemen. Get your tickets. I believe tickets are on sale, so check it out. Hobby Hangout. You can find them on Instagram and Facebook. And I think their website is thehobbyhangout.com.au.
And if you haven't, join the broadcast channel, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Jump in there because we're going to be putting updates in there in the lead up.
How do they join the broadcast channel, Dom?
I'll put the link out in the story right now. As soon as this pod finishes, I'll put it right now. I'll take a picture of your mug. That's what I'm gonna do. Just wait. Let me get to the broadcast channel first.
On.
Channels. Al Halal. I'm in the Al Halal broadcast channel. No surprises. Invitation link. Share the story. Here it is. Look, right here. I'm going to put your mug. There you go. Bang. Join. Go to our story. You can join. Melbourne Car Fair is the day before on the Saturday. Big weekend, says the Oracle. Jeepers creepers. Maddie says table for you in Adelaide if we're coming. Oh, I don't think we can.
I believe Adelaide shows the week after the hobby.
It's the week
right?
after. It is.
So
I don't know.
MP Marty, you're telling me Shano's put on a Melbourne Card Fair the day before the hobby hangout?
Yeah.
I love you, Shano. I love you, and thank you for everything you do. But that, look, he might have organised it before the hobby hangout. He probably did, actually. He probably did. So I can't really say anything, but look, it's good. Anyone who can't go on Sunday, you've got a show to go on the Saturday. Hey, I'm not going to complain about more shows. I feel like it doesn't need to be in the same area, but it is what it is. You know what? I'll probably, if it is in North Melbourne and isn't in Malvern, I'll probably end up going to that show as well. So why not? Why not?
He said he was pissed that it was on the same date. Well, all right. I'm going to say this and say this once. We should be all working together to find out dates so it doesn't clash.
Yeah.
The biggest show in the country, in each state, is the Hobby Hangout. Everyone needs to work around that show. I'm sorry, for now, they are the biggest show. We all need to work around them. That's it. Jay says, who's bringing the show bags?
The director of assets, mate.
Yeah, he's the king. Or golf at Ivanhoe, says Matty Tabe. Last but not least, get in the broadcast channel, because if you are interested, we might be catching up for a bit of dinner post-show. We need to know numbers. If you're interested, you listen to this, DM us.
Not might. We will go.
We will.
We just want to know
Saucy
numbers.
We want to know numbers. Saucy and I, we put something in a chat that we're in. We're going to put something in the broadcast channel. It'll be a poll. Who's interested? You'll vote yes or no. That means we can put your number down. We are not going to chase people up and say, "Are you coming? Are you coming? Are you coming?" on the day of. It's going to be booked in advance. That's why we want the numbers now. We can ring up, see if they can get us a table. If people pull out on the day, they pull out on the day. So be it. But at least we've got the numbers there, and we can go in and have a meal, have a few bevies together, talk some shit, talk about life, talk about cars, do whatever you want to talk about. We're not fussed. But we'll be there. Us two. And Jay, the great man, I've already locked you in, mate. So don't say you're not coming.
Have a couple of darts with Big Jay. He might go through half a packet in 3 minutes.
Exactly right. And we're ending the show because Sauce and I thought there wasn't much sport content, but we're going for an hour and 45 minutes of G's.
What did I say to you? We'd find a way to go past an hour and 20. We'll find a way.
Global is going to be there. On that note, keep living, loving, and breathing sport. I'm Dom with the Great Man Sauce. It's double coverage, and peace out.
Peace.
Thank you for tuning in. Please don't forget to leave a review on the Apple Podcasting app. Also, follow us on socials, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. Talking all sports, double coverage.